miss show, man. Anyways, this is my 6th time here, and I just miss show. I feel kinda fly standing next to you, baby girl. How do I look in my do-rag? Would you tell me the truth? Stay with me and love me through the night endlessly. I'ma keep on my chains when I'm making love to you. Hold me close and let me squeeze you tight through the night. Baby girl, how do I look in my do-rag? Would you tell me the truth? You. So I'm here for poetry, and I'm glad to say it's been a year since I started performing poetry, and I have a book. And so every poem I'm to perform tonight is from the book, and support my cause, buy my book if you love my shit. So let me start. It tells you are unique, or it tells me. We tend to want to reflect our emotions from other people around us, especially our loved ones. We think we can be happy by making them happy, that this illusory fulfillment becomes our life goal. The most common case is how we attach ourselves to what our parents want from us, that we forget what we need from ourselves. That being the best case scenario, by the way, because most often we forget we need anything from ourselves. It's among what we learn best while we grow up, to dim our light. They want us to see the world through their fitting perspective, and everything they tell us is easily believable because it's what you're told to do all of your long life. To believe that your daddy can't tell you a lie, that your mama is always on your side. It's true, they do everything out of love, but it's only love from the outside. From the inside, it's fear. Fear that we would lose and sometimes end up just like them. So they try to prepare us for something they also haven't understood. Life. But see, reality is subjective. Who you were with, when you were, wherever you are, all together convene to create your reality, your personal view of the world. So to break it to you, not everything your daddy thinks out loud while you're seated around your dining table is true. It's more of history, his story. His exaggerated experiences are tiny dots that he connects and refers to whatever they form as the truth. But you remember always, no one else has lived your life but you. And there will never be a life designed exactly as yours. Your unique experiences have given you a unique way of seeing things. You kissed a boy and you liked it. Your father never did. You want to marry that man that fucks you so good, but your mama thinks he's not cool. Well, guess what? Your mama never fucked your man. Your path is a real thing. It embodies itself through your desires, and your life is yours to experience through each and every one of them. Thank you so much. That's a poem. Healing from salvation. I'm 12 years old. My 2 younger sisters are holding either of my hands. As I look to my right, so we could safely cross the road, our last born on the left is hit by an over-speeding taxi. My mother empties her depleted gut into a ground-shattering shriek, and I chew my tongue. I clutch Rachel's hand, another delicate piece of us. My eyeballs roll rapid as I scour the scene for my brother, who, just like always, is standing on the opposite side of the road. 2 men acting on human instinct share a torch. In silence, Valeria's body is picked from a gutter, loose like a guitar string. God sees to it that every one of us is here to witness this shit like it's some fucking Jesus shit. Our nanny gathers us back in the house for a prayer or a round of applause for the mysterious work of the Lord. I heard somewhere that humans will believe a lie as the most effective way to cope with the situations we can't understand. I accept Christ as my Lord and Savior, although it's not me that I want him to save. A call interrupts us, implying the ambulance had been too slow for life, or the loving Almighty has just let my sister die. That's a poem. This next one is a love poem. It's about a girl. It's called Dark Skin Girl. It's about a girl the book is dedicated to. Yeah, shit. How do I get out of this one? So let's start. To the dark-skinned girl holding my hand, whose bedroom window wishes that the curtains always be drawn apart. I bet you are the reason the sun showed up earlier today. I bet he prayed you come out today. I bet you're the doorknob to open-mindedness. God, you're such a beautiful realization. I bet you had been on God's mind the night before she invented a butterfly. And the stars. I bet on your lips there's a formula for change. I bet your kiss is the trigger for consciousness. I bet on your breath is the pillar of God's sanity. I bet you're the master key that will open any heart more to love. I bet you're my best shot, love, at eternity. So please hold on to me a bit longer. Pull me to yourself, getting closer. Let's drive each other's heat up until our heart prints burn. For just one heartbeat longer with you. That's the poem. To a 3-pound brain, it makes little to no sense how the unpainted background of an exquisite piece of art is as essential as the paint strokes themselves, or how a pen full of ink is completely useless if we don't have an empty page. None could be assigned its worth in the absence of the other. If the brain won't do ass work, then that should be directly indicative of the asshole superpower. There's an African proverb that implies that the hunter will always be glory of the hunt as long as the lion does not learn how to speak. I bet each of our body organs performing life differently perceives itself as the most important part of the structure, all due to the unawareness of the ultimate relationship between all the weird existences. But because the brain does the thinking, it therefore dictates and affirms itself out loud as the most important part of the structure. But if all life was an exaltation of humankind and everything else was created to obey, why then the need to tie down a bull as if to torture him to manage to take the life out of him? It seems the bull also clings onto life the same way a person would, and it shows in his eyes too. But I want to emphasize my indifference to slaughtering and roasting some beef. I don't believe there's any error anywhere in this system. After all, someone has got to be fired that another one can thank the Lord for a new job. I've learned that every creature experiences life as the center of the universe, as though, and as foreign to the rest of the arrangement, as though godliness only incarnates through its kind. When in fact, sir, life is as glorious to humans as it is to a fly hopping on and off shit. You're not anything special to him unless you tender, feed, and shelter him. In other words, the dog creates you in his own image. And that is evidence that he's also 100% God. This is true of every belonging to the universe. It is a universe in itself. Take, for instance, the cells running the machine that is you. When a doctor studies just one of these under a microscope, he learns of a whole different world. But when we zoom out of it to take a look at its surroundings, we notice, let me repeat this. This is true of every belonging to the universe. It is a universe in itself. Take, for instance, the cells running the machine that is you. When a doctor studies just one of these under a microscope, he learns of a whole different world going inside the cell. But when we zoom out of it to take a look at its surroundings, we learn it's just a component in a living person's oxygenated blood. And with reasonable certainty, we must agree with the fact that the cell's inside world is unaware of this oxygen or its origin, yet it's on which the organism entirely depends. Within this environment, though, we notice something else. Other cells, whose movements seem so individualistic, it in fact creates a fight. But this contest, when looked at from a further perspective, is what keeps an organ such as the heart alive. It is only able to beat under the crushing over, it is only able to beat under the crushing of over 37 trillion distinctively willing cells. Yet to them, this arrangement is a totally unarguable oblivion. Now, we'll mindfully look around us. Notice this. The stupid, thoughtless nature directly resembles the world inside us. Sorry. Let's take a walk around the heart. Do you see how simple it is for her to assume no relationship with her neighboring organs? The liver, the lungs. More insanely would be to assume that the heart is aware of the brain, unless they perhaps came across each other in a car accident, under which condition they both wouldn't be alive to have to worry about it. In this next moment, we mindfully look around us. Notice this. Stupid, thoughtless nature directly resembles the world inside us. Rivers and creeks run underneath our skin the same way they cross through Earth's crust. Roots from up above to deep into our souls. To me, the imagery of the clouds often strikes much as that of the brains. We think of Earth as a rock somehow blessed with life, but neither are we inseparable from the bones. Simply put, we are the blueprint of this whole being, but comfort is in concluding on all of this as coincidence or random similarity. As if scared of facing the facts, truth lingers further to mind. But we are not at all different from nature. We are part of this, just experiencing it from a comparative perspective, as everything else. If you don't believe this, stand on the edge of a tower and hover your sight over city traffic and tell me how much of it doesn't resemble staring down from nature. We are part of it, just experiencing it from a comparative perspective, as everything else. If you don't believe this, stand on the edge of a tower and hover your sight over city traffic and tell me how much of it doesn't resemble staring down at a rail of ants fidgeting to take back home a breadcrumb. There's just a complexity in us tolerating the belief in the possible existence of much bigger sentient beings that couldn't see us with their naked eye. We just couldn't explain them. The same way an ant couldn't explain, the same way an ant trapped in the shoe sole pattern couldn't explain you if it tried to. Thank you so much. 10 reasons I couldn't leave even after you. 1, I loved you so right, you eventually learned to love yourself. You made me feel like I can change the world. 2, you told me I was your favorite place, something I had never been to anybody else before. 3, yours were the only jokes I could take about my imperfection. You were the only person that I'd ever claimed to love my smile. I had never felt like the cherry on top of anybody's life, I swear on my shit. 4, I believed ours could have been a kind of light that shadowed the moon if we just had held on, you know. 5, I'm aware of my potential. I can change the world. I just wanted only to change yours. 6, the saddest part about you running off with somebody else is that you took with you things I could never buy back. My faith, my innocence, all extravagantly spent on you. 7, I still believed in your promise that having other people on your mind while we cuddled was only a matter of time, that it would eventually stop. 8, there's no doubt I was your favorite drug, but somewhere along the way I grew addicted to being used by you. 9, I could have strained my last breath to say, I appreciate your love, and you would have said it back, even though that would have been a lie because 10. Unlike you, I truly loved you. Thank you so much.